I was standing in my own hallway when my mother told me to leave. Mid-sentence, mid-breath. Her hand rested on the wall. I paid to repaint. My brother stood behind her, smiling like a guest who'd already unpacked. Boxes were stacked where my shoes used to be. Someone had replaced my key with a new lock. I remember thinking how quiet betrayal is when it's rehearsed. She said it was temporary. She said family comes first. She said I was strong enough to land on my feet. I nodded. I always nodded. It was my role. I stepped outside with a duffel bag and the echo of my name being erased. Years earlier, this house had been a promise. I was the one who stayed late, took extra shifts, signed the mortgage in my name because my credit was clean and my brother's wasn't. Just until he gets back on his feet, she said. I believed her. I believed in blood and sacrifice and the lie that effort gets noticed. I let him move in. I paid the bills. I fixed the pipes. I swallowed the comments about how he had more potential, how I was too serious, how I'd understand one day. Love looks like patience when you're trained to be quiet. The changes came slowly. My mail opened, my room reorganized, jokes at my expense that landed a second too hard. Then the calendar on the fridge with my name erased and his written in permanent marker. Then the lock. The proof came the night I slept in my car and checked my email. A notification from the bank. My mortgage account had been accessed. A new authorized user added. My brother. I didn't scream. I didn't call. I watched the rain slide down the windshield and felt something settle in me. Control. Cold and clean. I stopped reacting and started planning. I gathered documents, deeds, statements, texts where my mother admitted in her own words that the house was mine. I met a lawyer who didn't blink. I froze my credit. I opened a new account. I changed passwords. I let them think I was gone for good. They threw a housewarming party a week later. I watched from the street as cars lined up outside. Laughter spilled through the windows I installed. A banner hung crooked over the door. Welcome home. My brother stood center stage, drink in hand, telling a story about how he'd finally made it. My mother nodded along, basking in borrowed pride. Then she said it loud, clear, the lie. He never really helped, she said. This was always meant for him. Applause. That's when I walked in. The room went still. Conversations died mid-syllable. My mother's smile collapsed like bad scaffolding. My brother's eyes flicked to the door, then to me, calculating exits. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't rush. I set my folder on the kitchen island and looked around like a stranger touring a museum. I just came to say a few words, I said, calm, measured, since this is my house. A laugh bubbled up somewhere, nervous. Then I slid the deed across the counter, my name alone. I followed it with the bank statements, the access logs, the notice of default filed that morning. My brother reached for the papers. I pulled them back. You were added without consent, I said, meeting his eyes. That's fraud. My mother tried to speak. I kept going. The party, I said, nice touch, but you might want to enjoy it fast. The sheriff comes tomorrow. Silence has weight when it finally lands. My brother's face drained. He finally understood who took his place. Not him, me. I had never left it. I just stopped asking permission to stand there. He stammered. She cried. Someone whispered, call a lawyer. I nodded. I already did. I walked through the rooms one last time. The living room where I learned to be invisible. The kitchen where I paid for dinners I never tasted. The bedroom that wasn't mine anymore. Outside, the night felt earned. The eviction was clean, legal, unforgiving. My brother moved out in boxes like a guest overstaying his welcome. My mother called, apologized, explained. I didn't answer. Some doors don't need slamming. Silence does the job better. I sold the house 2 months later. Good market, clean profit. I bought something smaller, mine. I don't hate them. Hate is loud and messy. I chose something sharper. Relief. I learned that loyalty without boundaries is just self-betrayal in slow motion. I learned that justice doesn't need theatrics, just timing and proof. And I learned that when you finally speak, you don't have to shout. You just have to be right and ready.